Press ticket. Best coffee I've ever made. I'm so tired. It's just this. Love does conquer all. This is a 5-star read. Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in for yet another YouTube video. It's a monthly occurrence, so of course I'm doing a 24-hour readathon where I sit down and I dedicate a full 24 hours to reading as much as I can. Honestly, I'm feeling kind of good about this one. I have my coffee ready, and I think this might be the best coffee I've ever made. And then I have a bunch of good picks, so let me tell you what I have laid out. I'm currently physically reading a book and then listening to the audiobook. The physical book is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I'm on page 275, and as you can see here, it's more than halfway. I'm really loving this, so I will be starting off with this. As for what I'm listening to, it's Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden. I probably will also physically read this. I have volume 13 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm always reading a manga during one of these. Another one that I think I will be starting is 7 Days in June. It is currently June, so I told myself I would read it this month, and that is happening. Then we have another murder mystery thriller. It's The Murder at World's End. I bought this when I went to Barnes & Noble. It was the final time that I went book shopping before I went on my book buying ban. It's set in the 1910s, yeah, and as you can see, there's a little map here too. And then there is one final option. I do also have the audiobook of this. I have had this on my shelf for over a year, I believe, and it's Legendborn. First off, I've had like a few people tell me that I look like our main character. I think her name is Bree. I don't see it. I really don't see it. Obviously, I won't get into all of these reads. Like, there's gonna be a few of them that I probably just won't have time to make it through, but at least half of these will be read. But I have my timer as per usual, so we're just gonna get right into it, starting now. I just finished my first hour of reading and I read Wild Reverence. I read 84 pages in the first hour. I'm super duper loving this book at the moment. Basically, we have our main character Matilda. In this world, there are gods that live in the sky and then underground. She's born underground to her mother, but she knows that her father lives in the sky. However, the two do not mix. They're not supposed to have children together, and the father, forbids the mother from telling her who she is. Except one day this all changes because something very sudden and unexpected happens, and Matilda, who has the power of carrying messages between all the realms, there's three, the sky, the under, and then the mortal world, she finally has to kind of awaken her powers and leave from the environment in which she's lived her whole life, which is underground. There's a lot of uncertainties in her life, but when she was 13 years old, she meets a boy. His name is Vincent, and she can travel through people's dreams. So she sees his dreams, and even as everything in her life changes, she goes through ups and downs. Well, a lot of downs, unfortunately. She always like thinks back to him, and it's years and years later, and they finally meet again. And obviously, this is them two. I want to do some cleaning now, and that is perfect because I have the audiobook of Dear Debbie, so I might listen to that until I'm done cleaning. That might be the next hour. I don't really know, but I'm gonna put my headphones in and then I'll be seeing you guys later for an update. Why is there a fly in my room? Okay, well, we have been reading for 3 full hours now. I was reading Wild Reverence for a little while. Oh, I was like, where did my bookmark go? I'm on page 360, so I've actually made good progress. This is how much I have left. I just want our main couple, I want Vincent and Matilda to have their happily ever after because they keep getting separated and they just need to be together. They uplift each other so much and their love is so wholesome. Like, they didn't see each other for 13 years. They see each other, and in the span of like a little bit of time, I want to say maybe a week, their yearning for each other is so genuine and it's not forced. That's why I feel like romance in fantasy, like romantasy, is kind of superior than romance books. You just realize like wars are happening, people are dying, you lose your family members, your allies, and still love does conquer all. I think that's such a cool message that romantasy always instates. On the other hand, I've been mostly listening to Dear Debbie because I was cleaning and I had a little bit of a lunch, but I'm on page 180 of this book, and our main character, Debbie, Dear Debbie, is a stay-at-home mom. She has a husband, she has 2 daughters. She runs a portion of this newspaper called Dear Debbie where people write to her. Unfortunately though, on the specific day she wakes up and things just start going wrong. There's 3 point of views so far, we might get more. There's Debbie, she's crazy. There's Cooper, we do not like him. And then there's Harley, who's also crazy, but like in a different way. I'm like reading all these people and I'm just praying and crossing my fingers that they don't exist in real life, because we would be in a lot of trouble. It's getting alluded that something happened to Debbie, or Debbie did something in her past. So hopefully we can figure that out soon. I'm kind of stuck between both books because I'm enjoying different aspects of it. I will say though that Wild Reverence is giving me the 5-star feels, and I might want to finish that later. Well, honestly, I don't know how many pages I have left in this book. 140. I feel like I could get this done in a decent amount of time, maybe a little over an hour. So honestly, the more I'm talking about it, I've decided I will finish Dear Debbie. We're gonna close this one out and then probably move back into Wild Reverence. This is how much time we have left. I believe it means that I've been reading for 5 hours, and I did end up finishing Dear Debbie just now. The twist wasn't what I expected it to be. I will say this is not my favorite from her, but it's also not my like least favorite. It was interesting in the moment, but I know that this isn't a story that I'll think about, and even from like her discography in which I've read, the story isn't like necessarily unique. Now I will be moving on to Wild Reverence. The plan is to finish this out. I'm on 360, there's 523, so whenever that happens, I'll sit down and recap my feelings of this book, because as I said, I feel like it could get a really high rating. Oh my gosh, guys, listen to this quote from Wild Reverence. "We were doomed, she and I. One day I would perish and she would live on, endless as the stars. But if we were doomed, then let us fully embrace it." Rebecca Ross. Rebecca Ross. Rebecca Ross. Just wow. Guess what I finished? Wild Reverence. This is a 5-star read. This is 100% a 5-star read. I feel like a lot of times for most people when they give something 5 stars, it's because they relate to the characters. And this book was so good to the point in which I didn't necessarily relate to the characters, but I cared for them so much. I wanted the best for Bade. I wanted the best for Matilda. I wanted the best for Nathaniel. I wanted the best for Vincent. Like, all of these characters were just so precious. Rebecca Ross had so many quotes in here that were just, they're like one-liners. They'll be like short and quick, but they just, I don't even, like, obviously I don't have the words. It literally melted my heart. This was the perfect book. There was a lot of angst, I won't lie. These two people cannot be together. Like, fate pushes them together, but life pushes them apart. And still yet, like, their love was so powerful that, you know, they meet time and time again and they continue to see each other, because that's just how powerful the connection between the two characters are. This takes place before Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vow, which I read last summer. I don't know if I said that already, but I read it last summer during one of them. I think it was Divine Rivals. Yeah, during a 24-hour readathon. So it's been almost a year and I bought this. It's been on my shelf and I finally read it. To think that I started this 3 months ago during a 12-hour readathon and put it down. I got to page 23, but I just could not do it because I won't lie. This font, it's small and there's a lot of pages. Like, it's just super daunting. Like, it's scary to sometimes jump into a fantasy book, and I get it, but this was so worth it. I'm glad that I finally picked it up right now, because I felt like at least having started it before jumping into this readathon already established the fact that, like, okay, I've read this slowly, and I really like it. One thing though, I thought that this would be more fantasy, and thinking back on it, Divine Rivals is the same concept, so it's my fault for not thinking about it. But I would say that there's more romance in this than there is fantasy. If you think this is going to be a fantasy book, which I thought it would be, it's not. Beware of that. We have now hit less than 17 hours of reading and I'm hungry. I'm very much so famished right now. So what I am gonna do is, can you guess? Can you guess what I'm gonna eat? Of course, it's a Lunchable. Whilst I do that, I am gonna start something new. I feel like I know what I want to start, and it might come as a surprise, but I think I'm gonna pick up The Murder at World's End, just because I feel like I might want to read 7 Days in June later and JJK probably after this one. I don't know what to expect of this. I really am jumping blind because I don't even remember the synopsis. Just because I don't know much about the story, it might disappoint a little. And so to prepare myself for that, I'm gonna read it and get it out of the way now. Everything else that's on the list, like, I have a good feeling that I'll enjoy. So I shall begin my eating and my reading. Finished my homework and turned on Love Island. It's a 1 hour and 30-minute episode. I'm nervous.
If you stay in your couple, you will be single and vulnerable.
Oh my gosh, guys. I just love Trinity and Bryce so much. They literally remind me of a couple straight out of a book. They are so perfect together, and I just wish them the best. They're like my #1 couple in the villa. Period. That was literally the craziest Love Island episode. I know I'll be posting this like way after, but I just watched the recoupling episode, and why is TT acting like that? And I love Trinity. Seeing her and Bryce reunite, it was so special. But it's 11:15 now, and I'm definitely gonna wind down for the night, shower, do my skincare, put on my pajamas. So while I do that, I obviously can't read, meaning that I can't make any progress in The Murder at World's End, but I do have the audiobook of 7 Days in June, and so just that I'm not like in a stalemate and not doing anything, I'll probably turn that on. But once I'm back, I definitely need to log in and like get back into physical reading because homework and Love Island took up a lot of time. I'm back now, guys, and it's right in time for us to hit... Hello everyone, back, and it's right in time because we're about to hit 12 hours, so we're halfway through the readathon. Showered, did my skincare. As you can see, got a lot of body oil on too, but I'm ready to lock in for the night. In terms of tiredness, I'm not doing too bad. I definitely do want to finish this one by the end of the night. While I was showering, I listened to like the first 3 chapters of 7 Days in June, so it wasn't really time wasted. I'm feeling a little hungry now, so we're gonna make a coffee. Number 2, I feel like I have a resistance to caffeine, and I'm not just saying that. Like, I genuinely will drink a cold coffee and I'll be like out a minute later, and I'll drink soda and I'll be out. And I can drink an energy drink, which I try not to do anymore, but I'll be out. So I don't know what it is, but iced coffee just makes me feel cozy, even though it's quite literally the opposite. Feeling a little hungry too, so I might make a midnight, not even snack, a midnight meal. Also, I got new pajamas. They're like pink, striped, and they're super cute, matching set from Nordstrom Rack, if anyone's interested. And they're so cozy and so comfy, perfect for a readathon because they're like light but super soft. Only 9 hours left now, and I'll be honest, the past like 3 hours I haven't been reading too much. I was just yapping to my sister because whenever she's in my room, it's just this. But I did read 50 pages of Murder at the World's End in this past hour. I'm on page 77 at the moment, so I finally kind of broke through it. I'll read the synopsis just to give you guys an idea. This is what it says. Cornwall, 1910. On a remote tidal island, the Viscount of Tythe Hall is absorbed in feverish preparations for the apocalypse that he believes will accompany the passing of Halley's Comet. The hall must be sealed from top to bottom, every window, chimney, and keyhole closed off before night falls. But what the pompous, dishonest Viscount has failed to take into account is the danger that lies within. By morning, he will be dead in his sealed study, murdered by his own ancestral crossbow. All eyes turn to Stephen Pike, Tythe Hall's newest servant. Fresh out of Borstal for a crime he didn't commit, he is the wrong man in the wrong place at the wrong time. His unlikely ally, Miss Decima Stockingham, the foul-mouthed, sharp as a tack 80-year-old family matriarch. Fearless and unconventional, she releases chaos and puzzles alike, and a murderer is just the thrill she's been waiting for. Together, the mismatched duo must navigate secret passages, buried grudges, and rising horror to unmask the killer before it's too late. So definitely thriller mystery, and it is kind of like a shorter book. I think it just hits 300 pages, so maybe I won't set a time limit, but I will try and finish this before I go to sleep. I'm feeling the energy of wanting to just get in bed, put on a blanket, and probably go to sleep. So I'll try to stay upright. If I lay down, it's over. So that's what we're kind of avoiding. I'm gonna get back into the reading and check in with you guys soon. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling so tired right now. Like, I can't even move through the book, and even if I were to try and read the book, I feel like it would be an injustice. I would just be writing it off because I'm not paying attention. So because of that, I think I'm gonna sleep. I don't want to sleep too long. There's only like 8.5 hours left, and I definitely do want to finish my volume of manga, and then start like physically reading 7 days in June. So I do need a few hours to do so, at least like 5. So I don't want to sleep any more than like 2.5, 3 hours for max. So hopefully I'll be awake within that time frame, or else it's not looking too good. We're gonna get back into the reading. I will not lie to you guys, I've made it past page 200 of Murder at World's End, and it's just not appealing to me. I have 120 pages left, and I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. And as I stated that I felt like it wouldn't hit, but the writing is meh, I feel like. And with the murder, obviously we're getting like bits and pieces, but it's one of those murders in which there's not really clues. We're just going along with the characters as they try and figure it out. And I prefer something where like the reader can also try and figure it out. Guys, we have 1 hour and 30 left. I finished Murder at the World's End. This was not for me. I felt like it was just so boring, and there wasn't anything that made me want to like the story. And so obviously I didn't. And like the component of finding out who did it was kind of a letdown. So now what I am gonna do is, I started JJK volume 13, but I'm gonna finish it. Then I'm like so tired, like all I want to do is sleep. So I don't know if I'll physically read 7 Days in June after, or listen to the audiobook, because I will finish JJK. But because I'm feeling so exhausted, we're gonna open a Red Bull. I don't drink energy drinks that much anymore, but this Red Bull collection, I think I tried the pink one once and it was like good. So I was like, let me pick up blue, and I just love this color. It's so like summer. This is iced vanilla berry. So let's open her up and taste. That's good. It kind of gives me like cotton candy vibes. And I also have these Chex Mix cheddar assortment of things, so I'm gonna eat them and read, and I'll be back whenever we finish. Guys, I'm so tired, but that is okay, because guess what? We're in the countdown to finally finishing the 24-hour readathon. 24 hours of reading, which is insanity. And even crazier is that we're done now. That was so much reading. I feel like I started off super strong, but then because I got like deterred by homework and Love Island, and then my sister was yapping to me for so long, I kind of got out of the flow. And one of the reasons it wasn't easy to get back into it was because the book I picked up was not good. I don't want to be mean, but it just wasn't for me. So we're gonna go through everything. The original stack was looking like this. 1 second. This was the original stack, you know, very lengthy, and I got to everything except for Legendborn. Legendborn will be saved for something else. And like, my audiobook is expiring soon, so I'm gonna try and get to it before that happens. First book that I finished was Dear Debbie. I feel like even if I don't like, even if I'm not in love with the Frida McFadden book, I never regret reading it because it's short, like the font is big, you're still gonna be interested in the stories, like you'll want to see what the characters do because they're and so all of that together never makes me regret like reading a Frida McFadden book. I did like Debbie, like she was so insanely unhinged. And then we do see like our plot twist work its way in, and I didn't expect it. I did not see it coming. I was surprised by what ended up happening actually. I gave this a 3.5 star. Then I finished Wild Reverence, and yeah, this is a 5 star. This is 100% a 5 star. I just love this so much. I don't think I have words to describe. I mean, I would have words to describe it, but I could talk for hours and hours because there isn't anything I would change in this book. In terms of 5 stars, at this point, I've read 73 books this year. It's only June 27th, I want to say. In terms of new reads, I've only had one new 5-star read. That's how like extreme I get with giving out 5 stars, because not only do I have to feel like there's good characters and like world building and plot, for me a 5 star will have like a really strong moral lesson. And so for the other 5-star book that I read, it was actually the first novel of the year, the first thing I read this year, and it was The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, and I saw a lot of important topics that correlates to real life, and the same thing happens in Wild Reverence. And I don't like feeling bored in a book. I don't want to seem like shallow or anything, but usually I am reading for entertainment, and so this book, the first 20 pages were slow, but like so is every book. You're jumping into a whole new world. But after the first 20 pages, I was just in love and I couldn't put it down. I was so scared. I was like, the font is so big and it's a heavy book and it's over 500 pages, which I don't usually read too much of, especially combined with small font. But Wild Reverence is just everything. I just wanted to consume the story, and I don't know how this happened. I think it's probably because I was so locked in while reading it. I read for an hour the night before my readathon, and I read like 90 pages. That's never happened before. I was just flying through it, and even during the readathon, like, you know, you get bogged down. It's a bunch of reading. I read the most pages in an hour reading Wild Reverence, which is like fantasy, small font, big, and like that's insane to think about. That just all showcases how much Wild Reverence was done so well. I would recommend anyone read it. I love when you have a book that has, like, you know, they're doing spicy stuff, but it doesn't go into the details. Like, I love when it's like super tasteful and you know what they're doing, but it's not like graphic. That's like so perfect to me. And Rebecca Ross also did that in Divine Rivals so well, and even better in Wild Reverence. I need to read everything she's ever written, and I will forever stay up to date with everything she writes. That is the best book I've read since the beginning of the year. After that is when I started The Murder at World's End.
I didn't like this.
Kind of can't even put my finger on it. It's not bad, but it was so boring and I was uninterested. I did not care for our main character, the family, like the ensemble cast. I just didn't care, and I don't want to be rude, but it wasn't for me. I think I'm gonna give it like a 3.25. A 3. I would not recommend it. After I finally got through that though, I did read volume 13 of JJK. They're in Shibuya. Everything is happening. We're continuing on. This is like part, let's see. This is part 25 of the Shibuya incident. Like, we've been reading about it for so long because so many things happen, and it happens in the span of like a few hours. All this mayhem. So I don't have volume 14. Yeah, I don't have volume 14, so I'm gonna pause on reading JJK, or I'm gonna read it on my e-reader. Last but not least, I started 7 Days in June. I listened to it for the final hour, but I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of fell asleep. So I'm gonna go back and I think I'm gonna immersively read it. I'm gonna listen to it and read it, just so that I can kind of jog my memory back, and then I'll get back to you guys. But enough of my yapping. I'm sure you guys are tired of me talking by this point. This is everything. Let me fix this. This is everything that I got to. Readathons are always an experience. I felt like the first half was super good. I was flying through Dear Debbie and Wild Reverence, and then I slowed down, but I feel like it wasn't stressful. Like the last readathon I did not like it at all. I really loathed it, and even editing it, I didn't add any sound effects, like images or anything, because I was just like, I want to get this out. Luckily, I like this one more. I feel like I was able to pace myself unintentionally, but it worked in my favor. Thank you to everyone for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye!